I can't see you. Oh, well, so yeah, sorry, I got a little lost with that one. So yeah, so she rolls up to me, right? It's like 9 months later. She's all pregnant. She says April Fools, right? And I'm thinking like, bitch, it's January. So anyway, that's why I got court tomorrow.
Fucking Christ.
Um,
Well,
yeah,
good
it's been
luck
a
with that. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the YouTube Saints Sunday show, our big show. It's going to be a fantastic show. It's going to be terrific. It's going to be huge.
we're gonna have
Um,
to rename it WrestleMania just for the WrestleMania recap, just for the clicks.
oh, I know, man. I know. Yeah, Jesus Christ. It's like we have some of the absolute craziest fucking timing with this show. It's always on a fucking holiday, or suddenly there's like WrestleMania and shit is happening tonight. It's frustrating, man.
Now, what did we end up landing on Halloween last year?
No, I don't think we
Okay, we
landed
didn't.
on Halloween.
We didn't. Yeah, we didn't land on Halloween. We did land on. We did land on Christmas and New Year's.
Right.
But those turned out to be great shows. But yeah, and here we are during WrestleMania. I'm sure that at some point soon we will end up sort of overlapping with election night. That'll probably be the next one.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure. It's pretty much guaranteed at this point for sure.
Although, yeah, of those of you who are in the chat, as it was, you go ahead and you just go ahead and smash that one button if you would like to see us reporting election results for you.
That'd
Because
be cool.
I'd be more than happy to do that. Because I don't usually respect elections to begin with, just don't. And so it'd be a lot of fun. Declaring Dennis Kucinich to be the winner of the 2019 presidential election. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Shh, 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 shh.
That's fair. That's
That's how
totally
it'd
fair.
work.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm actually fucking with this, and I think I'm actually I think I'm fixing that glowing effect on your camera. Actually
You're
turning out pretty good
you're,
right now.
you're taking away my glow, Jeff.
Yeah, yeah, I'm deglowifying you, man.
This is just what happens. This is what
Okay.
happens when I show up and I make a joke about pregnancy. I'm just glowing, and everyone's like, "Have you taken a test?" It's like, I can't get pregnant. It's like, not that test, bro. I know.
Oh man. Yeah, no, like okay, so I think I got that fixed now. I think I got that fixed. It's much better. Way better.
Nice.
Unless
And I've actually got us up on my little tablet here, and I'm trying to reach the chat just because everyone loves looking at the chat,
oh
right?
yeah. Nothing's ever toxic in the chat on a live show. Never.
Well, not on this show.
No.
We've got the best fucking mods out there, and by
We
the
do.
best, I don't just mean that they all wield merciless fucking stone hammers at anybody they don't like, which they do, but also most of them are pretty sexy. I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that. Yeah, not objectifying, just subjectifying. Anyway, before I drag that joke out into a place no one understands,
I think you already did. I have no idea where
mhm.
that one was going.
Oh, Jeff, you just been feeling sick is all. That's all.
That's
Yeah,
very true. Very,
yeah,
very true.
Jeff here is having to recover. Yeah, for some reason I'm actually not seeing a live chat here.
Mm, mm. What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh wow. Somebody found something absolutely, or made something absolutely brilliant for us.
Oh,
From shit posting. This is from Captain Chief 55. Let me get this fucking thing loaded up. This is pretty choice.
yeah. I'm having my usual trouble with technology, so I appreciate you guys all
Now,
bearing with me.
I am not actually very short, to be honest with you. I am pretty normal size, but I have recently, I've gotten this like reputation as being a short person because every time I take a picture with somebody, I slouch, and I want to do like a half Slav kind of shit for some reason. So I'm gonna live with it just because it got me put onto Tyrion's body. I'm cool
I
with
would,
that.
yeah, I would normally think that would be my spot, but then again, I am the taller one between the two of us, which nobody ever seems to really guess right off the bat.
Yeah,
Looking at you, Sergeant Buck,
I
twice
don't
in a
know.
row, twice in a row.
Somebody saying recovering from being drunk as usual. No, no, man, no. I was legitimately very, very sick this entire week. Like, like I could not get off the bathroom floor. It was that bad. Fucking sick, violently ill. It was awful. Oh my god. Terrible.
Well, it is funny because they assume you're like, violently hungover, and then we see today TJ was asking on publicly on Twitter, like, how do people drink this much? Meanwhile, Bunty's off doing Molly, and he's like, this is the greatest experience ever. And the next day, he's like, I feel pretty fine. Like, was that was that really Molly? Are
Yeah,
you
I was
sure?
wondering that too. I'm like, I've never taken Molly and felt fine the next day.
No, I mean,
No.
like, even, yeah, it's like varying degrees of feeling like absolute dog shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but good on you, Bunty. We're glad to hear that you survived and
Yeah.
enjoyed your experience.
Yeah. All right, let's start off the news with we have space news tonight.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about this one. And this was something I initially found on Twitter. Um, and it was one of those stories, too, that just seems so damn cool that I wondered why it was more people weren't excited about it. Like, so Virgin Galactic's second piloted suborbital spaceship made its first rocket-powered test flight Tuesday, 3.5 years after the loss of an earlier model in an accident that killed one test pilot and injured another.
Mm-hmm.
Designed to ferry paying space tourists. This is in your fucking lifetimes.
Mm-hmm.
Paying space tourists and research payloads to the edge of space. Virgin Galactic's Spaceship Two vehicle has been in development more than a decade. Branson, founder of Virgin Group, modeled the Spaceship Two design on Spaceship One.
Okay.
Surprise!
Yeah, I would have never fucking guessed that would be the case. Weird.
A smaller rocket plane that became the first privately built craft to carry a person into space in 2004. Now, I remember. Do you remember that flight?
I do remember that for the one that failed. Yeah,
No, the one that made it.
Oh, the one that made it. Oh.
Yeah, because they had one that made it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then I think on a subsequent flight after that was when they had it. Because I do remember watching as this weird looking plane took off
Mm-hmm.
from a runway and just kept going up and up and up and up, and then you see like the dashboard camera facing the pilot. And he's like, he opens like a bag of M&Ms and the shit just kind of drift up, and he was in low Earth orbit. He was in space.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the winged vehicle named VSS Unity dropped from the belly of Virgin Galactic's carrier aircraft.
VMS
Wait, was
Eve?
that? No, I'm wondering, was that actually what it was? Was it dropped from an aircraft? Because I could have sworn it
remember.
took off from the ground.
I have no idea.
Anyway, yeah, it dropped from Virgin Galactic's VMS Eve around 9 a.m. And fired its hybrid rocket motor for 30 seconds, accelerating to a top speed of Mach 1.87. It's nearly twice the speed of sound, the company said in a statement. Pilot Mark Forger Stuckey and Dave McKay were in the VSS Unity cockpit. The drop occurred about an hour after the VMS Eve mothership took off from the Mojave Air and Spaceport in Mojave. There's a spaceport. We have a spaceport in California. Spaceport. Let that settle in. How cool is that? Like, we live in an age where there's a fucking spaceport.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. That's in the Mojave. The carrier jet piloted by Mikey boy, Italian Mike, Big Mike they call him around the place, and Nicola Pesile. They call him Nicky Pencils.
Nicky Pencils.
Climbed to an altitude around 46,500 feet, about 14. Who gives a fuck about meters? That ain't real. Over the Sierra Nevadas, rather, after turning, blah 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 blah. Basically, long and short is like these motherfuckers, like Virgin United right now, they're sending privately owned spacecraft into orbit, as you see the plane right there. Mm-hmm. This plane coming up. Yeah, that's the Unity rocket plane as it touched down. That's the thing that was flying in space. That looks like a private jet. That looks like the kind of thing you would board to like take some flight to somewhere, like New York to LA if you were some hotshot actor or something. And no, that's a fucking spacecraft right there.
Yeah, no, it is effectively like making it into space. Because I mean, the first one that had the what was it? I don't know if it was the same one that made the successful flight and then it had the catastrophic failure. Mm-hmm. But I mean, they had to stop for 4 years because of a horrible accident. But resuming it, like picking it back up, that's the fucking gold in normalizing being in space. First, you have to have rich assholes willing to pay to get into space. Then you gotta have more rich assholes willing to make like a luxury accommodations for people to get into space, and then the rich assholes want to go up into space and stay at the luxury accommodations. Then they realize if they make it a little bit more affordable to get like the middle class up there, and then it grows and it grows and it grows. I mean, it just means more people in space. This is a good idea.
Ronald Reagan's ghost is looking down from heaven, standing next to Jesus, saying, look at how far the economics have to trickle down now. Oh my. Yeah,
Oh.
and it's a good thing. No, actually, they say here in the article, Thursday's test flight was the highest and fastest for Virgin's Galactic Spaceship 2 program, eclipsing marks set by the VSS Enterprise's 3 powered test flights before the ship crashed. So they had 3 powered test flights and then a crash, and that's what killed the initial pilots there.
Okay.
Yep, the test Thursday came after 7 glide flights by VSS Unity and its test pilot team, plus 4 captive carry flights when the ship remained attached to the jet-powered VMS Eve mothership. So they were testing this out. They're going to make sure it was safe.
Yeah.
Now, this is cool. After the rocket burn, Stuckey and McKay configured the tail booms into their feather position for descent, then lowered the feathering mechanism as the spacecraft dropped below 50,000 feet. The VSS Unity also jettisoned oxidizer left over in its rocket motor, then glided to a landing back in the Mojave. So yeah, I mean, like it's gonna be a funny thing too, because much like now when you want to travel cross country, if you want a nonstop flight, it's gonna cost you more than a connecting flight. That's like the future of space flight, I bet. It's like, well, if you're not too eager to get up there, sir, and you're willing to take a layover at 50,000 feet or so.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, so I got to climb into the large size jet that's attached to the larger jet, and then I just need to be willing to be dropped out like a bomb and hope the engine's fire. Yeah, fuck it, that's worth saving $50-$60, wouldn't you say, honey?
I've got the perfect plan to normalize us going to space. It's very, very simple, honestly. We were just talking about this earlier today on a stream that I do with my patrons. We were talking about VR, and they were like, yeah, but nobody wants to get into VR, VR is not a big thing yet. I'm like, actually, no, it is getting to be a big thing because of one simple reason. It's the same reason why VHS won over Betamax, the same reason why Blu-ray won over HD DVD. It's the same reason. Porn. Whatever medium porn decides to take is a medium that will succeed. And there's VR porn, and VR is taking off because people realize that it's kind of awesome to look at porn and it looks like she's actually sucking your dick. That's pretty amazing. So what they have to do, they gotta take porn to space. And as soon as they can pornify space, we'll all follow. That's where we'll all go. We just gotta first get the porn in space. I don't know how, but that's what we do. We need to put porn on this thing, and then we're all gonna go.
I think actually now that you mentioned it, I think the next story we've got is actually the really cheap and easy way to do it. So like, okay, maybe we're not gonna get porn in space too soon. Maybe we're not gonna all get to go up and like fuck in space all too soon. But what do you think about a hotel? Yeah, a hotel in space where you can rack up a big old credit card bill ordering porn. Because let's be honest, what do you think else is going to happen there?
That's a good point, actually. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's take a look at this. First luxury space hotel to offer astronaut and training experience for $9.5 million. Ever dreamt of becoming an astronaut? For the right price, tourists can soon experience basic spaceflight training when the first luxury space hotel opens in low Earth orbit by 2022. That's 4 years from now. What the fuck?
They want us to have that.
Right. Last Thursday, April 5th, aerospace startup Orion Span formally announced the Aurora Station, which will offer 12-day basic astronaut training for $9.5 million. This already includes the flight to the hotel and, of course, fresh towels. In contrast to similar packages by other companies...
I'm going to leave those towels so stiff and brittle.
Oh, dude, can you imagine how much it must cost to do laundry in space? That's gotta be a bitch.
I know, it makes jerking off in the sheets all the much better.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. Oh, come on. It's like, who hasn't wanted to jerk it in space? And just, it's like, normally you're like, I wonder how far my load will go. You'd be like, across
True.
the room.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna punch a hole in the hull. In contrast to similar packages by other companies, Orion Span's deal can be considered as relatively cheaper. For instance, SpaceX currently charges more than $40 million just to fly passengers to the International Space Station using its reusable rockets. Upon launch, Aurora Station goes into service immediately, bringing travelers into space quicker and at a lower price point than ever seen before. Now, I gotta pause here and say something. This is actually something that kind of bothers me about this story. When I'm going to space, I don't want to go to space cheaply.
You don't want to take like the Chinatown bus line
No,
to the lunar colony, you mean?
no,
No one. But I mean,
no.
I for one would love to Chinatown it to a lunar colony, for instance. Like, just like hop on at the spaceport in Boston.
Right.
Like, oh, I could pay like the 150,000 it takes to get there via Greyhound, or I can just pay $20 to take this Chinese missile. Is that a space rocket? It go to space. It go to space. That's what you're selling. It go to space.
It'd go to space. Yeah.
It go to space. Okay, yeah. Fuck
Wait.
it. Let's do it.
Is this Russian? It's
Then it's gonna be work forever.
well, I actually am trying to figure it out if or you know what, I think maybe oh no. Russia wants to build a luxury hotel on the International Space Station. That's what that is. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Different
like, as long
story.
as we're normalizing space, like, I'm happy with that. That's cool with me. I mean, whatever. It's fine.
I'll be honest though. I mean, so I see like at the towards the bottom here, it's saying an initial payment of $80,000 is required to secure a 12-day stay. To me, if I'm like just some rich douchebag who wants to get in on the like early days of space travel, 80 grand isn't that much money for 12 days in space.
Right.
Like that's less than 10 grand a day. For less than $10,000 a day, you too can order room service, looking down on your home and everyone who judged you growing up. Literally, quite down on them.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm seeing the bright future for myself in the marketing for this hotel.
Yeah, no,
It's
for
like-
sure, man. For sure.
It's like it's just to like market it to like wealthy like Russian mafioso kids or something.
Right. Yeah.
It's the illest shit, my brother.
The illest shit, my brother. Okay. All right. So, over here on Streamlabs, TK Mouse says, Mouth says, ass, it's what for dinner. Ben Mills donated a little bit. TK Mouse sent another message, and I tell you what, man, I'm going to refund that super chat. Yeah? I'm going to refund that super chat. And I think you need to keep that shit off our fucking channel, all right? How about that? Jay Caesar says, fucking in zero gravity, hell yeah. And then Rhino says, went to the liquor store to get the Spiritus. They were out. Still got the monkey shoulder and the moonshine. Death should be in stock before Arizona. Fantastic, my friend. Anime Moon says, 2 sex robots being shot towards Mars in perpetual coitus sounds about ad fun ad rolling wee tods on FetLife. What the fuck? Hashtag Pornhub Saints confirmed.
We'll see you in space.
We'll see you in space. That's right.
I didn't catch whatever bit of like edgy horseshit that was, but no, keep the money. Fuck
No,
him.
I'm gonna figure out how to refund. It wasn't about us. It was about somebody else, and it has nothing. It has no place on this channel or this show. So
okay.
just knock it the fuck off and leave it off, man. Honestly, we're here to have fun. Take your
We're talking
drama
about
shits
fucking.
around.
We're talking about fucking space hotels and shit.
Yeah, and porn and
Like
prostitutes. Come on.
you might not die before you get the chance to like have Richard Branson fly you up into fucking space so you could pay too much for the mini bar.
Mm-hmm.
Think about in space. I mean, shit. They'd like give you that whole line too that modern hotels do, right? Like, oh, by the way, if you take the thing off the mini bar for too long, the weight sensors, blah blah blah. Yeah, make that. Yeah, convince me of that in space, bitch. That's why I brought my own little nip of whiskey here. I'm gonna slip that bitch in, Indiana Jones style. Fill the other one up with water when I'm done. Why didn't I think about that when I was in
I
fucking
don't
Memphis?
know.
God damn it!
I don't know. Hey, let's move on to the last news item because we are kind of late. The middle one I think we can skip for right now.
Yeah, the middle one, really quick. Donald Trump sending National Guard to the border.
Right.
All right, hey, look how fast we got through that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
no,
next
for
one,
sure.
yeah, this next one we have to do go into. Now you guys all know at this point that YouTube HQ had a shooter come through, a YouTube shooter. Now it was found that the she visited a gun range before attacking strangers. Now you've all seen her pictures and clips of her videos, maybe even seen some of her videos. This
Oh boy.
Yeah, this creature was it kind of looks like Frida went out and got a whole bunch of really bad surgeries,
That's the
and
first thing I
then
thought too. Yeah.
huh? Yeah,
That's
with the
it's
eyebrows.
yeah, it's the eyebrows. It's totally the eyebrows.
Yeah, it's the eyebrows there. Yeah, well, so Meth Head Frida here decided to go shoot up YouTube's HQ. Fortunately, well, nobody died except her, which
Yep.
so I mean, yeah, the world's not suffering any great loss. But yeah, shot and wounded and injured 3 people. Now, this is a broken individual. This
Oh
is a
yeah, of
broken as
course.
fuck individual. And I kind of gotta wonder, do you think it was like, do you think she was like banking on the, on YouTube a little too much to the point where, like, because it like she ranted about demonetization and shit.
She did. She did. She was angry about demonetization. She felt like that they were unfairly targeting her because of her type of content. I honestly think that it was a mixture of quite a few things. It seemed like this woman believed that no matter what, her content had a certain type of value, and she wasn't getting the appreciation for that value. And because of her mental illness, she resorted to violence and lashing out in a way to make herself feel better. Um,
And she says she was quoted here as saying, "There's no equal growth opportunity on YouTube or any other video sharing site. Your channel will grow if they want it to." One post reads, "YouTube filtered my channels to keep them from getting views." Another post accuses closed-minded YouTube employees of putting an age restriction on videos, saying it's
right.
aimed at reducing views. Now, the thing is like YouTube is a fucking mess. Like these people don't give a shit about content or content creators,
Oh yeah.
and they don't know what they're doing. It seems, by
Half
and
the time.
large. Yeah, in general. But this is kind of a curious case study, and I will be interested to see how this story really like pans out once the investigations go through. Because this could be, I mean, in addition to her mental illness, I gotta wonder if maybe this isn't a bit of a case study in our sort of modern society of fame obsession, to where once somebody gets a little, once somebody gets there, they feel like that's the only thing they can live on. And I've heard like comics and actors talk about it too, about it's
Sure.
like an addiction. In fact, Bill Maher and like Louis Anderson, in fact, yeah, it was Louis, I think, who was saying it about this story
Hmm.
on Bill Maher's show recently, was saying that it does seem as though a lot of these, especially young social media people, everybody, it's Andy Warhol's fucking nightmare now. Everyone gets to be famous for 15 minutes, and then when the 15 minutes are up, it's like, well, that's the end. What do I do now? In this woman's case, she decided to go shoot up the YouTube campus. Fortunately, again, only injured 3 people before taking her own life.
Right.
So I kind of got to wonder too. I'm kind of curious if, like, if she went in there with the intent on massacring and maybe going out by cop, or maybe that was just like, maybe the suicide wasn't planned. So she like saw herself shoot 3 people, realized what she did, and then they just checked out.
Well,
It's
I
a
mean, like I didn't look into this one as much as I looked into the Randy Stair one quite a bit because I was fascinated with that guy because he was just like a whole planned thing. But I myself, I swear to God, every time I start to stream, people on Steam decide that they want to start messaging me. Not cool, guys. I don't appreciate that shit. All right, I'm offline.
That's why I take Steam offline in general.
Yeah, well, you
It
know.
should not be a default program, Jeffrey.
I understand that. Yes, I know. But anyway, I don't know if she like left a manifesto or a suicide note or anything kind of like that. I would be interested because also I don't know if the people that actually got shot, she knew who they were or if she just picked them at random.
The initial investigation here, and I did see this, said that did not appear that she had any actual like connection to anyone that was shot. Now, initial reports that came out when it was happening, said that it was an angry woman, and it's it's a lot like any kind of breaking news story because we got all
Yeah.
the citizen journalists all out there. It initially started getting reported that she'd gone there and shot like an ex-boyfriend or something.
Right. That was in the first reporting, yeah.
Yeah, and then it came out, and it's saying that it's what I was reading here. It says that it doesn't look as though she had any connection to anyone there, and that she really just went to the campus there to shoot it up at random.
Hmm.
So
Still, man, it's pretty wild. I have been holding my tongue on making too many jokes about this.
go ahead and make them now.
We can always count on YouTube to embrace diversity by giving us a female shooter. But honestly, this is just another example of white feminism, because it's not really a shooter of color, except she is actually. Shit. I had that
Well,
one
no, I
on
mean,
lockdown
yeah,
before it
but
came
no,
out that she was like half Iranian. Or no,
yeah, but
half
no, I
Persian?
mean, no, I mean, it came out, it took a while to get out that she was half Iranian because, as
Right.
usual, when a shooting happens, certain
Right.
news items decide to Photoshop the shit out of a fucking picture so that they can frame a narrative.
But see, it's still white feminism because she's white passing.
That's true. That's true. Also, like
Not
I mean,
really. I
I
don't
don't know
know.
if she identified as a man or not. But I'll say this or this much. Obligatory aim gap joke. Just get
Okay.
that out of the way. She only managed to shoot 3 people for every 7 a man shoots, I guess. I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah, yeah. No,
But
it is funny
there
though
is
because people did try and make her white, and there are some people who are so determined to make this woman into a trans person. Have you noticed
uh,
that?
oh no, this is the new thing. This is one of the things. I mean, no, we're not going to get too deep into it, but prior to the show, Jeff and I were talking. Um, Shit is really getting fucking disgusting out there. Let's be honest. I
Yeah.
mean, not just here on YouTube, but in general, the fact that journalists and pundits and quote unquote public intellectuals or public profiles or people of profile, people who get paid to speak in front of other people, they will oftentimes go out of their way to openly hope when a mass shooting happens. Their first thought is, I hope it's the avatar of the people who I hate.
Right.
And it's so fucking disgusting. Like, when
It
the
is.
Orlando nightclub shooting happened, I was thinking to myself, well, that could be some crazy Florida man with a gun, could be a Muslim, could be anything. Let's find out what it was. And of course, before any details came out, people were like climbing over each other to declare what it would be. And the same thing
Oh
happened with
yeah.
this one. And it's fucking revolting. It
It
is
is
one
honestly
nice thing.
revolting.
It is one nice thing though. This is why when I like if I'm like on Discord, I'm usually just hanging out in the Saint server. Our people, you guys are capable of making jokes, but you are probably the least douchey place on the internet, surprisingly enough. So thank you for that.
Yeah, we really do appreciate it. We love you guys very, very
Yeah.
much. Because
And I
honestly, right
will.
now, like the internet is a fucking dumpster fire lately, and it's really hard to have a whole lot of motivation to be part of it at times.
What fun.
Or
What
fun,
fun.
yeah, dude.
I mean,
Like it,
the modern definition of fun is being a cunt and laughing at other people's genuine fucking pain.
yeah, I'm not interested. I'm
Nah,
not interested in that
I'm not
shit.
feeling that. I'm not feeling that. Now, one thing I am kind of feeling though is decent jokes that are well timed. And this wasn't necessarily well timed, but I will say that the recent spate of YouTube tweets, Team YouTube, Team YouTube, you guys know Team YouTube, the guy that every YouTuber tweets to because they don't know how to run their fucking website.
Sure.
Except at the same time, for some reason, they have time to tweet out more films by women, more videos by women. We need more women. Well, now you guys got more shooters by women. Congratulations. Golf
All right.
claps. Now, moving on from like what sucks about YouTube and the internet and what unfortunate about the way YouTube works, we're
Yeah.
actually going to move on to something very fortunate.
Which is first a couple of Streamlabs and then
That's another thing
our
that's
epic
fortunate too.
fucking guest night, which I'm really excited about.
Mhm.
Sarade Kuchi. Oh wait, shit. Oh fuck, I forgot how to pronounce your goddamn name. I even wrote it down. Hang on, I'm gonna do this right. We talked about it. Sarade Kausi. Yeah,
There we go.
see, I got it. That's why I
Hey,
saved it.
I'm almost gonna miss the old pronunciation now.
I know, me too. Just a simple reminder to those who don't know, you will pee yourself when you enter 0G because your bladder thinks it's full. That's what JoJo taught me, and anime has never lied to me. Right, Nick?
That's right. That's absolutely true. And likewise, don't piss me off or my stand will jump through the camera and strangle every one of those shekels out of you.
That's right. And Spectacular Wanderer says Paris Hilton is already so wet for her space hotel. Ooh.
My stand. What would that stand be? The one that jumps through the camera and strangles money out of you?
Oh, I don't know.
I'll come up with an adequate joke by the end, or I'll forget I was trying to make one.
All right. So, our guest tonight. Go ahead.
We're gonna do we're actually gonna be doing something new here, something we should have been doing for a while, and we're gonna see how it works. But so our guest tonight is actually one of my favorite YouTube channels. It's one half of one of our favorite YouTube channels, actually. These guys do incredible work. From skits to the redubs and reimaginings of all kinds of things. Most of you will probably know them from their reimaginings of Star Wars. We're actually going to introduce them with a clip to give you a taste of what it is they do in case you're unfamiliar and you need to go subscribe. So we're going to watch a reimagining of Brett Favre's Razor commercial as done by our guest tonight, the Auralnauts.
Hey, think you've seen it all in lasers? Because you haven't seen jack shit.
Introducing the Tough Blade Pro, the world's first handheld bioreplication device. Using our patented laser-based system, the MicroTouch will scan every pore of your face at an anatomic level and store your genetic blueprint for replication.
When it comes to replication, just pop on the laser and boom, it's just science.
Entire face is lit up.
And you slice it with lasers? Simply apply the heat-dampening cream shield and let the Touchblade Pro collect your genetic sample with ease. Functioning at a previously impossible frequency of 7,000 microvibrations per minute, the Tough Blade removes a single layer of skin, which is digitally analyzed and transferred to the nearest cloning facility by lasers. Experience replication so perfect, even your clone can't tell the difference. Once complete, your new replica will be equipped with a small arms package and a free micro tough blade of their own in order to maximize the lifespan of your strain. Each additional clone produced using the micro touch will shave 1 year of service from your contract with the Laser Corps. Isn't that right, Brett Favre? But that's not all. Not even close. The Tough Blade also includes a secondary non-laser-based light source to assist with effective replication in zero visibility conditions. A standard system purge to prevent your genetic blueprint from becoming compromised. And German steel. Order right now and we'll include the precision gene trimmer. Keep your clones free from your grotesque imperfections, such as neck moles, ear mites, unruly nose hair, and sideburns. Blast yourself in the face with lasers today and become the clone army of tomorrow.
Tough Blade Pro. See the quality, see the value, and now, see the love.
Okay, it goes. Yeah.
Hello. This is Brett Favre Actual. I repeat, this is the real Brett Favre, broadcasting across all frequencies. If you can hear me, you've all been tricked. This world is a lie. But the resistance is real. Be strong and stay true to yourself. You must resist. Stand by for further communication. Favre out.
Too goddamn good. Too goddamn good. Everybody, welcome to the YouTube Saints. We got Zach from the Auralnauts. What's going on, man?
What's happening, guys?
Now we were told
Thank
that
you
you're
for having me.
Oh, a pleasure. We were told that your partner fell under some unfortunate gas problems regarding his helmet.
It's true. He hold on, let me. There we go. Yeah, he breathes subhuman air, and it's not taking very well into the system.
Yes, that thing you see in the thing you guys might see in the rare times when they're on camera. That's not just a motorcycle helmet made to look like something else. No,
That is 110% not what that is.
that's true.
It's his environment suit, so he can survive in our atmosphere. Yeah.
He's working with what he's got. It happens to be a repurposed motorcycle helmet.
Well, it was. I mean, I thought it was pretty great seeing. And for those who are not aware, last weekend, part of the reason the show looked so thrown together was because I'd literally gotten back from New York. I got to attend the screening of their newest episode, The Last Laser Master.
Yep.
Fucking brilliant piece of cinema.
Fucking
That was a fun night too. Holy shit, that was.
that was a hell of a night. And when we went to that biker bar with the go-go dancer next door across the street there, she left with a lot of my money.
Which you were super seemed on the fence about at first. You were like, "Hey man, you know what kind of bar this is, right?"
No,
and I was like, "Yeah, dude, I bring dates here all the time."
Okay, yeah, no, well, yeah, all right. So for context, though, for those who are curious, so we're at this on one side of the street, and this is in Brooklyn. One side of the street, there's this rather nice-ish, kind of hip-looking nightclub. Glass doors and glass front. They've got a doorman. Yeah, the doorman was even really with it because he could tell I really belonged there, even though I didn't possess a ticket, and he still was like, "Just get the fuck in here." And the Tatooine tits, the Tatooine titty twisters were delicious, by the way.
I had 5 of them.
Yeah, I could see why. It's a bourbon drink with fucking honey. But right across the street rather, there's this other bar, very sort of like slimline shotgun bar, looks a little old, looks a little unkempt. And out front there are 3 nice Harleys, all with patched MC members just chilling around there. The Red Rum Club, as it turns out.
They're all a bunch of teddy bears. Those guys are super rad,
Oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Honestly, I feel better when I see patched bikers around than I do when I see cops.
Oh yeah.
Because at least the bikers will keep shit in order and they'll party.
It's funny. A lot of those bikers probably are cops, but I feel more comfortable around them when they're dressed like that than when they're dressed like cops. I'm like, oh, you're off duty and you're like selling meth now. That's totally cool.
Yeah, but I did kind of think that was a clubhouse at first, and I'm like, we're just gonna pour across the street into an MC clubhouse.
Listen to the Auralnauts. Trust the Auralnauts. They would lead you astray.
I did learn my lesson though, but it was definitely cool seeing the two of you up there and your homeboy with his helmet.
Yeah, I'm glad he came out with it. Once he got into it and was just feeling the night, saw the response from the crowd, then the helmet came off. The Q&A was just regular dude style, and it was.
That's awesome.
We were we'd never done anything like that before. We weren't even thinking about doing it. We were finishing the episode, and Craven's wife was like, what if you guys had an event, a screening? And we're like, no one would have come to that shit. And then we're so then we started asking around, and we're I think people kind of want to come to this. So
what was I talked to a couple people there, but what was the furthest you would heard someone travel to get there?
You stuck around for the dance off, right?
I was part of the dance off.
Oh right. So Nico, the guy who won,
I lightsaber danced that motherfucker.
He was a destroyer. He was out there to destroy.
He did.
He came from Finland. He's a real life Viking from Finland.
Mm. Shit. Okay.
Uh-oh.
No, sorry. Jeff is a proud Finn.
I am a very proud Finn. I can see my countrymen flying across the pond, just be like, I really like this YouTube channel. I will go.
Yeah.
I must represent my country at this premiere screening of the Star Wars thing.
I was pretty stoked for that kid because he I guess in Finland is very, very closed off and a very reserved culture. So they're not into overt American style humor as much as he is. So he's kind of an odd duck out there. So he, he's been wanting to come to New York since he saw Ghostbusters. So he was like, come to New York to see this stupid YouTube channel.
Finnish culture is interesting because they're not reserved like American reserved. It's just that Finland is just so very fucking Finland that even as bizarre of a people as they are, they're just so constantly and painfully fucking Finnish that is kind of hard to like chisel through and get like.
That's kind of the impression I got from him. But
yeah.
He was stoked. Like he was stoked to be here, and then he like was in America for the first time. He was going to see somebody whose work he was really excited about, and then he like won a dance contest at the premiere of this thing that he came to see. So I was like, that kid's like, hopefully that was like. We helped him forge one of the like a memorable vacation.
Oh, that's gonna be one of those classic New York stories. It's like, the people people around his town, his friends and shit, like they'll hear none of them have been to New York. What was it like when you went to New York? Oh, well, I had a lightsaber fight with a guy, but it was a dance competition and I won the thing. And yeah, I mean, and the guy who was hosting it was dressed like the Flash.
And they also make YouTube videos, and then we went to a go-go dancer bar across the street. It was totally
hell yeah.
Yeah, with a fucking metal band in the back. I was really disappointed I couldn't get Justin Wang to come out. That would have been a good time.
We had Matthew and Margaret though. Those two are great. They were actually in the episode too. I don't know if you told people that.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So the way I got to go out to this thing was that two of my friends from the beer shop, which some of you might remember me working at. Well, I introduced them to these guys a year or two ago, and they got instantly hooked, and they became patrons. And when they were reaching out for people to do voices, they reached out to their patrons as well. And Matt and Margaret ended up having what I thought was one of the best scenes in it with Akbar.
Yeah, they were space cops. They were really good. He threw Margaret in there like kind of as a joke, and then I was like, she's really great actually. Could you ever like redo like on a? It's weird when you work with us because we're like. They're actually in a bigger room and they're kind of shouting from the back of it. So if you could kind of get far away from your mic, but don't like scream, just like. They were on top of it. Though.
Oh yeah, the whole drive back to Margaret was because Matt he's a bit of a performer kind of guy. Like he's got no problem doing voices, whatever. Margaret's not necessarily as much of a performer. She needs like a script and a scene. Yeah, I mean she can do film acting well, but she needs a scene and a script. When she's just handed lines, she doesn't know what to do. And apparently, you guys really enjoyed the outtakes quite a bit. I hear, yeah.
Oh, she was like, she seemed like she was super like being kind of forced to do it against her will. She was like making fun of it, and I was like, wow, Margaret's. Actually, that's why we're like. We really want to use her, make her do it again.
Yeah. Yep.
She seemed to really enjoy it at the end of the day. So
yeah,
because we have people that are pledging on like the over $20 level, and we're just like, all right, that's insane. First of all, you guys are over the top awesome, and so we're like, we don't feel like we do enough for you guys up here. Do you want to be in this video? And they're like. Most of the people responded, so we kind of got everybody in there as much as we could.
That's awesome.
I'm surprised by how many people have like really good recording gear. I was like, I barely have that kind of stuff in my house.
I can say you lucked out with them because Matt is actually if you ever want a particular kind of prop that you need 3D printed, I would say hit Matt up because he has a whole business doing that.
That's cool too, yeah.
And he's talented as fuck.
So, the last Laser Master, which I just watched today with Mems, and I was fucking blown away. That, if I'm not mistaken, that was like a 3-month labor of love for you guys, wasn't it?
Oh no, it was longer than that. It was
wow.
Well, it was like because there's usually a year passes at least in between each one of those episodes, and it's not like a solid year of just doing that because sometimes. To make something, we just kind of have to step away from it for a little while. So it's not like we finish one and then leap right back into it. So we made the stupid Brett Favre video and stuff like that.
Right.
And then like over the last the 3 months was like the most intensive stuff for sure. But then it's like 6 months and like watching it, making jokes about scenes, seeing what sticks. And then then that last 3 months is like hard ass script writing. And then it's he and I doing all the voices. And then we send those out to people and be like, just do it like that. Exactly the way we said it, but just in a better voice. If you watch the earlier ones, it's kind of painfully obvious that like we're everybody. It's kind of like the Venture Brothers. If you watch that show at all,
I think that's why I wasn't like remotely bothered by it. I've been trained for it, so it's basically like watching anything that Justin Roiland does.
Yeah,
which is only one thing to be honest. But yeah, he's It's like, you can
always know it's him. He's like, whenever he pops in there, you're like, that's Justin. Like that's.
Are you? Yeah. Well, let me ask: Are you guys fans of Jello Apocalypse?
I'm not familiar with it.
I think you will be.
Jello
okay.
clips. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, you will enjoy that channel. It's they do a whole bunch of they have a nice series called This Is Basically, where they go over different sort of storylines, different cartoons, different shows. Like this is basically what it is. And one of them's like, yeah, and with Rick and Morty, you can trust on Justin and Rolian to play anywhere from 3 to 99% of the cast. Like, yeah.
And then Dan will slip in and be like the other,
yeah,
10%.
just because somebody wrote a line in saying like, I hate divorce court or something, and then they move on. Sorry, Dan, I've been through it.
Every time I watch one of you guys' things too, it drives me crazy because I absolutely love doing something. I only ever did it once. I made a video called Chest Hard Hammer in the Temple of Sarkeesian because I found an old VHS tape that I recorded probably when I was like 12 years old, and we had a free weekend of the Spice Channel.
Ooh, there's always like, is that something that's happened to everybody? Like you just get that random free weekend of the Spice Channel?
Yeah. And I recorded it on VHS, and the tape is so degraded. And so I took that and I cut all the nudity out, and I just found this absolute gold of material. And then I just chopped it up and I redubbed the whole thing with me and my wife to make this I think it's like a 10-minute video, but I was so proud of it, and it made me so happy to make that. and I get flashbacks to how fun that was every time I watch your guys' channel. It's fucking great. I love it.
It's a lot like that. It's just two guys in a room just trying to make each other laugh.
Yeah.
But then once we do that, then we get weirdly serious about it. You're like, okay, like what would this sound like in this room? Like we get really like down into the process of making the shit sound like it's supposed to in the movie. Right. And then it's because a lot of the time you can rip the surround sound and get some sound effects, like.
Or you could do
sometimes.
do like shitty post processing work.
Yeah, it's like you can sometimes get the sound of C-3PO's joints moving, but for most of the part we have to redo it all.
You're talking like your own Foley work then.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll have to we have sound libraries and stuff for like stupid shit like feet on the tile and every one of those stupid sounds.
But I mean Foley shit. I remember being like, I want to say like 13. Like 12 or 13, and I realized that if I took a piece of celery in front of a microphone and I slowly split it, it's like, oh my god, someone's ripping a limb off.
Yeah,
that's how they do that. I'm a fucking genius.
The weirdest Foley we ever did was, do you ever see that Minus Williams video we made, where we stripped the John Williams soundtrack out of the medal ceremony?
Yes.
We did the same thing for Return of the Jedi. We took Yub Nub out, and so
that was actually like that's the video I kind of introduced people to your channel with.
I feel like nobody saw that one.
I love that because it's that genuine like cringe meme kind of awesome where it's like, wait, no, listen. Yeah, and then when like the Force ghosts come around, it's like, wait, no, listen here. You've got that just
in the background, like a Victorian city.
Yeah, it's like an American Werewolf in London or some shit.
It was like Jack the Ripper was coming up behind him or something like that.
Yeah, that was fucking fantastic.
There was some Foley where like Han and Luke hug, and so we're like Craven and I were like hugging each other in this studio like over and over again. We're like, all right, this one's gonna be like one pat on the back, really good chest bump. He had to put a leather jacket on for like Han Solo, and we're like hugging each other over and over again in front of this microphone like a couple of weirdos. Then there's the gross ones where you got to get like the sounds of people smiling. So you get like really close to the mic and you're like I don't even could hear it, but it's like that weird spittle sound. Like, it's
Yep.
It's so dumb.
That sound that I constantly make in all my videos and I want to edit out all the time.
Oh yeah, I know the feeling too. It's like, oh man, I love watching YouTube videos where like the only thing that catches my attention is lip smacking and inhaling.
Well, there's this fucking kid named the Electric Nuke, and I challenged people to make shit posting videos about me at one point. I was like, dude,
I didn't even challenge him, and he did it.
Yeah, I know, and he did one of you too. But like on mine, I asked him to roast me, and throughout the whole thing, he's got these super cuts of me just. Just
That
these
reminds me of that. Have you seen
disgusting
that pro
ones.
wrestling video? Absolutely no words. It's all pro wrestlers like just inhaling and breathing.
No.
Cuts. Oh, you got it's one of my favorite videos. You have to watch it. It's like Ric Flair going just constantly. He took out all of his like promo smack talk, and it's just breathing. It's called absolutely no words.
Yeah, I used to think like back like when I was like a little YouTuber with not much understanding of the kind of things people could make. I'd see like harmful opinions, harmful remixes, and those were brilliant. But now it's like, oh wait, you were doing Cassette Boy. I get it. Are you guys familiar with Cassette Boy, right?
No,
not enough to be like, yeah, I totally remember that shit. I think I heard it.
Yeah, the David Cameron rap. That's one of my favorites.
Okay, I definitely found.
I'm not laughing because it's funny.
Oh, you found absolutely no words.
Yeah. Do you have the My Circle link open?
Hold on. Send it to me. I'll just go. It's in the chat, right?
Yeah.
Let me. Dude, Skype changed everything. Okay, here's the chat. Hold on a second.
I know Skype is a fucking
Yeah,
trash
Skype.
fire.
Remember, Skype is owned by Microsoft, and the mantra is: if they are comfortable, it's time to change things.
Oh, okay. Here it is. Just seeing it, just looking at it. It's so good. Ric Flair's king, though. I can't wait till it gets to Ric Flair. Look at Razor Ramon. It's just...
Okay, I can't.
That's some of the best like audio humor that I've ever seen. It's so like those guys fucking get it. It's so funny.
I miss the Ultimate Warrior so much right now. Oh my god.
I know, but I mean,
yeah,
I just,
peace, man.
I have to like wonder what the thought process is. Like they're just sitting around watching classic wrestling, right? And
they're like, dude, this guy breathes a lot. Like his breathing is intense. Yeah.
No, bro, all their breathing's intense. Yeah. Wait a second. I've got it. You got it, bro. Yeah, let's do this.
It's got to be the same shit that Craven and I do because we were like the Minus Williams video. We're sitting around watching Star Wars footage so much that we start to notice weird things. And we were watching episode 4 and we're like, dude, there's nothing happening in this ceremony. Nobody's cheering. There's no band. Like everybody's just smiling at each other. It's so weird. Like it's all music. And that's how we came up with that video because we just watched something too many times and it just got weird.
Or that epic fucking kick on the sand skiff in Jedi.
Somebody in the comments called it the kick heard around the world. That was like, it's such a whip. And then somebody in the comments goes, guys, don't sweat it. It was a force kick. I was like, no, you don't get that.
It kind of. Well, I mean, the way you describe that though, I've been watching. I don't know. Are you familiar with Your Movie Sucks? Do you know that channel? That's another.
I'm just gonna let you in on a secret right now. I don't actually spend a lot of time watching YouTube. I should more. I mostly just watch like game walkthroughs.
No. See, all right, you had it halfway. The thing to say was like, I don't actually spend much time watching YouTube because I've got too much time taken up by making good videos.
Oh, that I didn't want to humble brag, but you know.
Oh no, this is the show. This is the show for it.
I don't
This
play
is the
video
show
games
for it
at all. Please don't check my Destiny play time log.
Yeah, but no, I mean the way you describe it though is I could actually hear Adam saying something. So we get to the final scene when they're walking down the courtyard and everything seems happy, yet nobody's fucking doing anything. Like, why is nobody clapping? Where are the bands? What's going on? Why is this happening? So I guess I give this 7 out of 10.
It is kind of weird though if you think about it. You know, like in that ceremony scene. Like, if there is no band, are they just like playing ceremony music over speakers that we don't hear?
There's got to be something else going on because otherwise it's the weirdest goddamn ceremony.
Yeah, well, imagine being. I don't know if Jeff, have you ever done background on a film?
Have I? No.
Okay, no. Zach, have you ever done any work on a real film set?
I've
okay.
Yeah, I come from that world. That's
Okay, yeah, no, so do I. I've done a few films myself, principal and a couple background times. Now, background is always an awkward thing to do, especially if it's a scene where they need dead silence so they can get the audio right. So you have to sit in the restaurant or something and be like, pretend you're in conversation, pretend you're having a good time. Yeah. But I gotta wonder, because they didn't have the green screen. We're like, okay, we'll just take 10 people and turn them into 10,000. Hope no one notices the facial similarities, right. or that there's for some reason no black people in the entire Rebel fleet apparently. But so I gotta wonder, as awkward as it was,
there's 5.
Yeah, there's 5.
I counted them.
Yeah. And so I gotta wonder, though, as awkward as it was in the 70s to be like part of that film, just standing like, oh cool, I get to be in Star Wars as an extra. This is weird. Everyone's being quiet.
From what I understand of that set, no one was like, oh cool, I get to be in Star Wars. They're like, what the fuck is this movie? Like, this is ridiculous. That guy in the robot suit's like arms keep falling off. Like, this is trash.
Yeah. This is gonna be terrible.
Oh yeah, that's right. Actually, because that scene that scene did come after the first film.
Okay.
That's right. They ended. Oh yeah, that's right. They ended Jedi with the Ewoks. I forgot. I was swapping them. Yeah, so that must have been even worse. So like, you're Mark Hamill though, and your job is to quietly walk down an aisle with a bunch of silent strangers staring at you, and then pretend to be very pleased about what you've done. Bravo, Mark Hamill.
It almost looks like they're at a church too. I kind of like, I keep envisioning them listening to like How Great Thou Art being played on a bad like cassette,
like a big organ.
Yeah, well,
no, they have a full organ player in there. It does seem like a wedding though that they're going to.
It does.
Yeah, so here's another funny thing about that scene. You know how we always make Chewbacca just yell like a regular guy?
Yeah.
We came up with that joke because in that scene, in that like medal ceremony, Chewbacca is just roaring, right? He's like, the camera's like dollying away, and he's like, "Brah!" And Craven was like, so Chewbacca is talking, right? Like, he roars, but like Han Solo understands him, so those are words. So is he just like, yeah? Is he like yelling something? Like, because that's not just roaring, he's an intelligent, sentient thing. So
the Wookiees are an advanced race, no less, too.
Yeah, exactly.
According to canon.
Like, he is just yelling, but so he's just this guy that just grumbles and yells and just doesn't actually say anything.
Fun fact, in Shriwook, he was actually saying YOLO.
YOLO, which is...
Yeah, the Wookiees. The reason the Wookiees are so technologically advanced is because they too developed YouTube, and they too had their own blonde Wookiee version of the Paul brothers. After that point, they said it's time to end it all, and they burned technology to the ground, relying on crossbows and handy trades in interstellar engineering to get by.
Isn't that how? Do you guys ever play Mass Effect?
Oh yeah.
Isn't that like the whole Krogan story? Like they burned their own civilization down because they were.
I was thinking Dune, but okay.
Everybody probably stole from Dune at some point.
And also, I mean, Dune kept trying to end and never managed to, and Mass Effect tried to end, and fuck you guys.
That was a hilarious year when Mass Effect 3 came out, and like that was the first year, at least that I was aware of, where a video game company was like shit on so hard that like Forbes was like, one of the #1 worst companies in the world is EA Games for this shitty ending. It was like,
fuck yeah.
I was like, you beat out banks that are like foreclosing on people's homes. Like this is a tough crowd out there.
That's the sick, sad thing about modern society, though, isn't it? Is that more people were probably upset with the ending of Mass Effect than were genuinely upset about how the housing crisis happened.
I felt bad because I was initially upset by the ending of Mass Effect, but then I saw how much blowback it was getting. I was like, oh man, there are so many bigger problems in the world than my feelings about this ending. Holy shit.
It's like, not only that, you enjoyed 99% of the game.
The rest of the game, the way it tied everything together, like the fact that I saved Rex in the first game and he was like, it paid off in the third game, I was like, dude, brilliant. Like, this is so satisfying.
Yeah, fuck it. Give me my choice in colors of popsicle to die with. I'm fine with that.
I do appreciate that one of them was Singularity, though. That was... you got to assimilate with the machines.
You really love your Kurzweil, don't you?
More like it's
I have
mostly
created it. The
mostly-
singularity engine.
It's mostly Cronenberg that I really like, and that's just kind of
Good answer.
the body horror stuff is
Yeah.
is a big influence on the Creepio mythos.
I
Well,
can
that's
tell.
the central fucking character to that whole sequence.
Yeah, he's whether he knows it or not. That's he's kind of unaware of the whole his role and how everything played out. But
That was the entire we must bond with the tree world. Ignite
the DMT!
I fucking almost shit myself. I know dudes like that, and then it became.
we all have that friend, that guy that goes over the top when he's high and thinks that he's enlightened now. You're like, come on, man.
That's me. That's me. That's totally me. And then it turns like that dark existential fucking twist. I'm like, that's me too. Oh wow.
I thought
That's why nobody
I
does
thought
drugs with
pain
me
was
anymore.
a gift, and it was my job to share it with the universe. Like, Jeff, is that you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was all Hellraiser.
'Cause I
really liked
kinda-
Hellraiser growing up, but it was like,
I thought you were channeling Anissian there, to be honest with you, but that's a different story.
I mean, if you ever see the original Hellraiser, the whole central plot is this guy who escapes hell, but he doesn't have any skin, and he's just all he wants is to get his skin back so he can live again, and it's horrifying. And it's like when I first saw 3PO, I was like, why the fuck does this guy is he all exposed muscle and nerves and it's all robotic, but he's still is half finished, and they just switched him on he had no eye. They were like, dude, this is fucking torture.
I will say I think my favorite line from the entire series, though, for some fucking reason it always sticks out to me, has to be Padme saying, "Thank you, magic trash can."
You know who that was, by the way?
Who was that?
That was, Alana Glazer from Broad City.
No.
You ever seen Broad City on Comedy Central?
Wait, yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Alana, the curly hair, the frizzy haired one.
Yeah, my fucking brother and his wife watch that show religiously now.
Yeah, she was. This was New York is a weird place, and the comedy scene's actually really closed circle, and so you could just get people to just do your videos and shit all the time. And she would do a ton of favors for us, and now she got too famous to help us. So Jeff told me to jump in there and take her place. It was amazing. But
Jeff, this whole moving to Queens idea I had, it's starting to sound a bit more fun now all of a sudden.
Just to be clear, though, you'll get access to the Alana Glazers before they're beneficial as the Alana Glazers they will become.
Oh no, yeah, but you have to remember, I'm from Manchester, New Hampshire, so it's if I'm gonna find talented people in the area to do anything, I have to turn over every rock, and then maybe I'll find them drunk. And
just
then,
do you do Craigslist personals and I'll maybe get
Craigslist?
We're gonna get to that in a second.
I'll just do that shit, and then I'll just keep bringing hookers over the house until I find one that can read lines in the way that I want. I'll be like Penn Jillette,
I'm pretty sure that's what Tim and Eric used to do.
Well, no, yeah, well, you know about Penn Jillette and his outhouse, right?
No.
So Penn Jillette, wealthy, works and lives in Vegas and all that. He built himself this really lovely house out in the desert, and he wanted an outhouse. So he wanted to shit out elsewhere.
Right.
And what he did was he hired a Vegas escort to come back to his place. No sex or anything like that. It was really just for the explicit purpose of putting her in his bathrobe and finding out how many steps from his porch, as it was, she could make it until she felt uncomfortably cold. And then when he found that measurement, that's where he put his outhouse.
Huh. So that's an interesting use of the world's oldest profession.
Well, I mean, consider he's a libertarian stand-up comedian magician. What else is he gonna do with a prostitute? Make something disappear?
Yeah.
Did you know
softball?
the guy who played Larry in Hellraiser was also the guy who played Garrick, the Cardassian Taylor on DS9. It's true.
Really?
Was Larry the dad in Hellraiser?
Yep. Yep, the one who Frank took his skin.
He took his skin and then got his face pulled apart.
Yeah. And so like the actual face of like Jesus wept.
Jesus wept.
That's
and
the
then he, like,
same.
licked his,
Yeah. That's the same actor that played the Cardassian Taylor in DS9. It blew my fucking mind when I found that out. I was like, what the fuck?
He was a bit more than a tailor.
Well,
I think those are his only 2 roles. Yeah, I've never seen him in anything else, and I'm pretty good about spotting those kind of actors. So.
I know.
Listen, as a fucking character actor myself, if like I got those 2 roles and that was like the beginning and end of my career, I'd be fine with it.
Dude, I'd be like, I was in Hellraiser. I don't have to do shit. The guy had no skin. Did you see that?
You know how? Yeah, it's like and then I like had child support and house payments and shit, so I went and did DS9, and now I pay for multiple houses on both coast, bitches.
That Hellraiser is one of those movies. Why I like Cronenberg and Hellraiser, because those movies, I watched a lot of horror movies growing up, and they're all just cool. But Cronenberg and Hellraiser made me uncomfortable, and I was just like, it stuck with me in a weird way. Like watching Hellraiser makes me feel kind of gross. I'm like, ugh.
Oh yeah.
What is it? Movies don't make me feel like
old school practical effects. Are really where it's at. Old school things like Reanimator was incredible. The Thing was incredible.
I love Stuart Gordon. Have you ever seen From Beyond?
Oh yeah! Oh my God! Oh man,
that's actually
so
my
good.
favorite Stuart Gordon movie. That was such a weird movie.
It was brilliant.
Very Lovecraftian, like they were contacting, transdimensional beings, and it got all goopy, and
We had a new movie recently come out that's kind of like a love letter to that, using all practical effects. The Void.
Oh yeah. I saw The Void.
Yeah, it was.
The Void was it was interesting. I was a little disappointed in how they clearly had a budget. And so they clearly used a lot of creative lighting to hide that, and I almost wish they just embraced it and just went all out and showed it. Like, it was a little hard not to notice.
And I'm kind of curious. The end was a bit forced too. It seemed like so bizarre just for the sake of not having to really tie it in, like because they didn't have the budget to do it. And that was kind of the thing for me.
Well, something I'm curious about those, because you mentioned like obviously had a budget. Now, you're clearly a film geek. What's your opinion and what's your take on the so bad it's good genre?
I mean,
where do you fall with that shit?
Here's the thing. Here's my opinion on it. So, a lot of people are like, you should check out Red Letter Media. I think you'd like them. And I checked them out, and I like some of their stuff for sure. But I saw one of their videos where they were reviewing Jim Cotta.
Yep.
And they were like just taking a shit on it in such an obvious way. I was like, yeah, of course this movie's garbage. Like, this is low-hanging fruit. But was there ever a time in your life when you watched this and you legitimately thought it was rad? That's and that's me. Like, I watched Jim Cotta and I was like, do I not have enough gymnastics in my martial arts? Like, what am I doing wrong? It's, so I come from a point of so bad it's good in a way where I am I'm self-aware enough to not be so cool that I don't pretend that I never liked that stuff. I'm like, I watched Kickboxer and I actually thought like it was a good movie. Like now I can see the humor in how bad it is, but there was also a time when I enjoyed it, like on a.
Oh, dude, I remember watching like the original Bloodsports and like having that like actually motivate me, because I was like doing Kempo karate at the time.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is what it is. And then Dragon Ball came out, and I'm just like, oh, wait, shit, that's the same thing, kind of.
And I feel like a lot of the entertainment is evolving now, too, because I feel like a lot of stuff that's made now is made by people who feel similarly to the way I do, but they're making things through that lens. Like Hot Fuzz, for instance, is made by a guy who clearly thought at one point Bad Boys was an awesome movie. And now he's like, no, Bad Boys is a stupid movie, but I still appreciate it. So I'm going to make an homage to it and like in a fun way.
I'm going to make it the best way I can.
It's not like mean to the source material. It's like really flattering, but still like funny and rad in its own right. So so it's like so bad it's good is like I draw the line at The Room. Well, like The Room is just bad. I don't think it's cool. Like people think it's
okay. So you don't enjoy like drunkenly watching like Neil Breen?
It depends. I mean, it depends on what mood I'm in, I guess, because it's like Yeah, I don't know.
I'm a brainiac, man. I'm a brainiac.
Yeah.
I
Listen,
really am.
I've become one, and honestly, when I watched The Room, I mean, a friend of mine showed me The Room for the first time, and I've been told it's not a movie you sit down to watch because it's a movie you want to watch. You sit down with friends when you're drunk and maybe a bit high, and you just watch it because like she'd already seen it, and she's pointing out like this one character shows up, and she's like, "Okay, yeah, watch this," and I'm like, immediately like, "Who is that? Why is he here? Who is it?"
Yeah.
Nope, I don't get to find out, and he never comes back. Really? Oh, that's great. Why the fuck?
Look,
But then-
okay. Look, it's
great.
simple. It's not hard to enjoy The Room. You just have to. You can watch The Room for the sake of it being like a bad movie. That's true, and that's what most people do. And sometimes it works for people. Sometimes it doesn't. For me, when I sat down to watch The Room, I knew that it was a passion project by Tommy Wiseau. So what I did was I paid attention to just his character, who he was, what his motivations were, the things that specifically were happening to him, and how he was reacting to it. And I found myself emotionally involved with that fucking movie. I really did. And the very first time I watched it, I'm like, Johnny is such a nice guy. Yeah, he's a little dense, he's a little dumb, but he's a genuinely nice person. He's taking care of this stupid fucking kid named Denny. What a nice kid. What are you doing, Lisa? What are you fucking doing? Johnny's such a nice guy. How could you fucking do that to... And I got upset. I got legitimately fucking upset, and I got emotionally involved with the character. And
It's a sign of it's a strong empathetic character that you've got there. It's
not usually.
Oh, I thought you meant that Tommy had there.
no, him. He's
See,
like,
my problem is when I watch movies in there's like if I watch a film and I'm looking at its story, I'm seriously like looking at it. I like because I've written a number of screenplays, so I know what screenwriting is like, and I watched that and I immediately saw, I'm like, okay, yeah, so dude writes his own main character. This is like watching a Sofia Coppola film, except
right.
yeah, like
Except it's
honestly,
a weirdo, creepy dude
No,
instead of Sofia Coppola.
well, no,
Right.
that's the thing though. With the exception of that, I give Tommy Wiseau more credit than I give Sofia Coppola,
Well, she had all the tools available to her,
and she still sucked.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I'm
it was
not-
still and it was still like, I am perpetually angsty teenage girl. This is what my diary and fantasy diary are turned into when
she actually, you know what she is to me is it's really funny because I was just talking about him earlier tonight with a friend, but she's like the female Wes Anderson. It's like mopey white people. And I'm
No,
just like,
no. Wes Anderson has talent and vision. I mean, he can at least create. Yeah, he's mopey and he's very transparent.
Listen, I had a Wes Anderson phase when I was like a film school kid. I was all about it, and just at some point I grew apart from it because it was like, I'm not like a mopey dude. Like I can't identify with these guys. It's the same kind of theme over and over again.
Okay, I get that. No, what I'm saying is,
Packages. I need a
I
back
regard
scratch.
I regard Wes Anderson the way I regard Tarantino, right? Like it's one of these things. Like, yeah, I get what he's doing. It's completely two-dimensional and obvious, but he's still really good at it, and I can't take away his ability to create create what he's doing. Sofia Coppola, it's just like lazy. It's like, and my dad gave me a bunch of cameras and a film school DP, and we made this thing with like a red epic about how horrible I felt when I was a teenager. It's like, yeah, it's the same thing with Wes Anderson, except he tries to be poetic about it. And Tarantino, it's all about like, I used to work in a video store.
Here are my
Guess
favorite movies.
Guess what I liked? Yeah.
Here's a
Right.
collage of all my favorite hits, starting with blaxploitation and kung fu.
Yeah.
It's just great. I'm like, cool. That's a great filter. I love watching it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not saying that either of them is not talented. Wes Anderson or Sofia Coppola. I just don't enjoy. They're not bringing anything new to me. Where I was like, but I'm watching The Raid Redemption for the 5th time. I'm like, this fucking movie never gets old.
Yeah. There's one Wes Anderson movie that I legitimately think is brilliant, and it's honestly his happiest movie, and it's also his lowest budget movie. It's Moonrise Kingdom. I fucking love that movie because it's the one that has. It's brilliant. It's all about just like that first innocent like middle school love, and that's all it's about.
When you're an awkward weird fucker,
right? But it's got that like that awkwardness, the amazing like set design and the camera work that Wes Anderson is famous for.
It all looked like the whole thing looked like a postcard.
There's still like the tropes of like family strife and struggle and marriage under stress sort of thing that's in every single like mopey Wes Anderson movie, but it's so behind the scenes of the main centralized focus of these two kid characters, and I found it brilliant because it was a lot less Wes Anderson, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. It's a great
shot. You know, I like Edward Norton. I know he's kind of fallen off, but you know, it's
brilliant in this.
Yeah. So it's you know, I'm more like, maybe because I didn't grow up as like, you know, with that sort of angsty, reserved, like, why I like Quentin a lot more, because Quentin strikes me more as like a super mouthy class clown.
Yep.
Which is more like what I was.
Yep,
I'm like that, like, yeah, I never had that like if I liked a girl, I'd run up and tell her, and then she'd be like, "No, you suck," and I'd be like, "Yeah, you're right," and then I'd run away. You know, it's like, so I was never like hiding behind poems or like any of that stuff. So it's, when I watch it, I just kind of get like, I don't connect with these feelings at all. I want something a little more, you know, a little more energetic and over the top. You know,
I feel you, absolutely. I think that's one of I think the only reason why I like it is because it's just so. It's so young right before I got into like that self-identifying edgy age, because I was the same way, man. Like my youth was all fucking horror movies. It was all horror movies and like extreme violent movies and imports and things like that, and I can't really identify with it. I just can't. But
that's
real
why
quick,
horror movies were always good too, because it's like,
which one?
That's why horror movies. That's why I was like to. That's why I'm more into those, because it's just like, man, because they're more existential. You know, they could get into it, especially like the Cronenbergs and stuff, because you're just man, we're fucking weird. They're like, what's wrong with us? Like, they're more as like, what's wrong with people instead of like, what's wrong with me. And that's kind of.
Oh, I was on that fucking journey from an early ass age. Like 16, I move into a punk house. And then I meet this crazy like underground film buff dude. This is like 1998, and he's got access to this bizarre video store, and he says, "Hey, you like extreme movies? You like horror movies? I got this film you should watch with me. It's called Guinea Pig." I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure, I'll watch it. I'll watch Guinea Pig."
He's like, "I made it today."
No, he didn't. Oh no. Have you ever seen Guinea Pig?
I've not seen Guinea Pig.
Ooh, it was banned in Japan for the longest fucking time. It did not make it out of Japan for a long time.
Banned in Japan. That's a high bar.
It was made in Japan, and it was banned there, and they had to smuggle it out of the country to get an international audience, because it is the first successful fake snuff film ever made.
Oh.
And it is fucked up.
This is the country that produced Takeshi Miike, so that's pretty impressive, because that guy's some gross shit coming out of his.
Ichi the Killer, Visitor Q, like that's my fucking jam. Audition.
Yeah. Oh.
Happiness of the Katakuris is still my shit, dude.
That's a weird family one, right? That's I missed that one, but that's I know what it's about, and I remember just not seeing it. But
it's a great story that goes along with it. Takashi Miike, he was at this like convention or something, and this person approaches him. This says, Miike-sama, you are a master of the horror. You're a master of the ultra-violence. But you know what? You are not a good filmmaker because you can't make anything. And he says, what? Fuck you. They go, I bet you can't make a musical family comedy. And he said, watch me, bitch. And
he's like, you are master of horror, but you are not master of family ties.
Right. And so he made Happiness of the Katakuris, which is Swiss Family Robinson meets zombies.
Oh, man. That's amazing. That's kind of like, you know, that reminds me, it's not the same, but like David Lynch making, shit. What was his G-rated movie?
Oh, fuck me.
The guy on his ride mower. Straight Story. Is it Straight Story?
Wait,
shit. David Lynch making a G-rated film was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. I was like, no way this is going to be G-rated and still be a David Lynch film.
Yup.
But it had Harry Dean Stanton in it, so obviously it was a...
it was the Straight Story. Yeah. That's wild ass shit, man. I should probably catch up real quick with some super chats before we get to our...
Oh, just to sell your chat out a little bit. I was watching, you guys were talking about the news. They were all talking about like the line between being gay and not, depending on what you jack off to. So they were. I don't think they were paying attention to you.
No. They were soaking in what we were saying. Don't worry. That's
okay.
they meditate on shit like that.
They got hung up on it. Yeah, you guys had moved on.
Oh, well, you know what? I'll shoot you a link to our Discord. You can just come look at the general for like half hour, I'd say, at any given time, and then you'll get a very good understanding of what exactly.
I wanted to get in there and be like, "Yo, Futanari is not gay, all right? Just go have fun."
You would enjoy our not safe for work channel. Mouth says jokes on Google. Yeah, oh yeah. Jokes on Google. Use my survey rewards to pay the YouTube states. Appreciate that, buddy. Saturday Kusi. Schindler's List. That's a good stand name. That's true. Ingy Bingy 2000. What's your views on the Fed seizing?
Schindler's List.
No, this is a good question. This is a good question.
That.
What's your views on the Fed seizing Backpage?
Ooh, is that for all of us?
Yeah, for all of us.
Okay.
You can start. If you wish to pay your respects and say, now I got to go back to Craigslist.
I got to go. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do because I think Craigslist shut down their classified section.
Damn it! What am I going to do now?
Yeah, they were scared. Listen,
I'm going to have to keep being a YouTuber or something.
So I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to curb sex trafficking.
Yeah,
which is a noble effort, but they're completely not doing it the right way. They're just what they did was actually put, I feel like, sex trafficking on blast in a way that's going to make it more dangerous for people. Short of like making it legal, is that like nothing else is going to stop sex trafficking, and like doing that is just like it made it less safe.
It's like the war on drugs, you know. The more you legalize it, the more it becomes. There's more of a system behind it. It's harder to track, and it's harder to take.
Yeah, the more you take away from the people's ability to do it themselves, the more power you put into the hands of people that control it, and it's
exactly.
Just,
Okay. My old political consultant spirit is coming out, right? Feeling it. I think that the Democrats in the next election cycle, what they need to do is they need to embrace legalizing this shit, not so much to liberalize those industries, but to convince Republicans that regulation can be a good thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, we're going to turn it into an industry now.
Well,
and now what are we going to do?
Here's an example. So, like, I grew up in a weed family, right?
Yeah.
And it's Colorado, so now they're like, they got it made. But growing up, my dad would just be like, his high thoughts were like political and economic. He'd be like, you know, if they made this legal, they could tax it, you know, and then and now they do. They made so much in sales tax in Colorado that they had to give refunds back to everybody because apparently there's a cap in sales tax that you can make. And it's like, why are you not trying to get in on this money? It's ridiculous.
It's just free money for like social programs. It's insanity.
And not only that, but I mean, if you've got a healthy sex trade, for one thing, all those congressmen, right? All of a sudden, if you can regulate it for an anonymity clause, right? Yeah. It's like, oh, you can run this brothel within DC, but only if you never give the names away. Tell me Congress wouldn't be down for that.
Well, here's the thing about politicians. It's like they go so hard against all this shit. Prostitution, drugs, gayness, and then they all fucking get it's just like Murphy. It's like what is the law that's working against them? They all are protesting too much, you know. So
the lady does protest too much.
Yeah, and it's like if you didn't spend so much time like rallying against this shit, it wouldn't be bad when it came out that you're into it. Like just
one of my favorite ticker lines I think I've written for this show. I write news ticker lines at the beginning of every show. One of the, I think my favorites, most memorable, was congressional aid staff establishes pool to see when that congressman is caught balls deep. Or no, when homophobic congressman is caught balls deep in that page. Yeah, it's the way of it. But I mean, honestly, you legalize prostitution, you legalize drugs, you legalize vice, and then you regulate the shit out of it and tax it so that people are like,
yep.
Hey, yeah. Well, I mean, I'd like for one thing for my prostitutes to be D&D free, right? In fact, that's one industry I would really be happy when I heard like, oh, I couldn't get a job there because they drug tested. It's like, oh, then you weren't willing to go through.
Like, okay, good. That's I like their standards.
I like their standards. I mean,
I don't know what it is because I feel like these guys all love money more than anything else. So it's like, why don't they want to get in on this? It's
if you love money that much, how can you not love drugs and pussy too?
I almost don't like. Well, even just like to regulate all that shit. It's like that's
to be in control of it. Isn't that your job?
Like, I almost don't believe that you guys do love money as much as you are acting like.
Yeah, you seem like a bunch of pussies to me, to be honest with you. Anyway, we got show to get on.
Sergeant Buck says, so when did Brett Favre begin working for InfoWars? Well, now you fucking know. The Fighting Hobbit says, Nick stand bad reputation with the power of instant demonetization. Ingy Bingy 2000. I thought the guest was
real quick. Sorry. Could somebody please get me a fucking cheap anime drawing of me with that stand? I would love that.
Ingy Bingy 2000 says, I thought the guest was Coyote Peterson. I don't know that reference. What's Coyote Peterson?
Do I look like Coyote Peterson? Let me look him up real quick. Hold on.
Coyote. Let's take a look and see if we can get what Coyote Peterson looks like.
Well, he's a bald guy, so that's a good start. I think he maybe grows a beard at some point. Oh yeah, no, he does. Yeah. Okay. I'm not mad at that reference. That's a handsome man. He's holding
beard within canon. That's pretty good.
Scorpions and stuff. Like he's kind of a badass.
He is kind of badass. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'd still fight him, but you know, it's
yeah.
I got it. I have to be the one. You know, it's like everybody's gonna rock this style. I can't stand in the same room with the guy without at least trying to wipe him from existence. You know.
Jesus Christ, I accidentally clicked back on absolutely no words. No. I got to stay focused. So, Nonsensical Mecha says, Jeff, a humble request. Can you do a show as Doc Holliday from Tombstone? I'm your Huckleberry. I will make your dream come true. Anime Moon says, by Dog Does Fuzzy Beard, I'm suddenly having flashbacks of having talked to Dean Esme, the cummy-covered horror. Oh, God. When the fuck did you talk to Dean Esme? Jesus Christ. Lord Squirrel says, Hitler took the DMT, Stalin took the DMT, Mao took the DMT, the DMT. It's an old school Alex Jones remix song. Dangerous being, Garrick's actor was also the Scorpio killer in the first Dirty Harry. That's true. That's actually true. Yeah.
Oh, with the dad from Hellraiser?
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Dude, that's a good fucking callback. Nice work.
Mm-hmm. And the Strawman says, movies that are so bad they're good. I love the Boondock Saints. Triggering intensifies. That's not funny. The Boondock Saints is amazing.
Actually, no.
Watch the documentary about the yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about too. Yeah. Dude, I'm from New England, and I know what those people are like. I know exactly
what are you guys even talking about?
There's a documentary about the maker of the Boondock Saints, and he lost his fucking mind.
Yeah, really? No, the most amazing thing about the Boondock Saints is that it ever got made.
Yeah.
Really?
Period.
Why?
Oh my God, because Troy Duffy legit lost his fucking mind.
He turned into such a diva, like overnight.
Oh yeah. Well, no. Here's the funny thing: Harvey Weinstein was the one who fucking because Harvey Weinstein found his script, really wanted to make this badass looking movie in Boston, right? And it was a cult classic because it was a brilliant fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
But he got into this and he started Weinstein fucked up because he bought the bar that Duffy worked at and gave it to him as a gift when they went into production together.
Okay.
And from there, motherfucker thought he was going to have this badass band that was going to make it big, huge production company. He started barking at the Weinsteins. Now, before the whole huge sex scandal.
Oh, no, they were like mob bosses, basically.
The Weinsteins were the most powerful people in Hollywood. You did not talk shit at or to or around Bob or Harvey Weinstein.
The dude hired Israeli spies to stalk people.
No shit. What?
Oh yeah,
you didn't hear about that part? Oh yeah.
No,
yeah.
What the fuck, dude? That's crazy.
Yeah, this dude. Why do you think it is? I dipped out of the film world into YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot easier.
Does he had to watch Harvey Weinstein masturbate? I don't know.
I'd do that if I got a role that paid me $800 a day. Fuck it, I'll watch him and fucking what's that comedian's name? I'm spacing. I've been drinking wine.
Okay. Tyler Hill says, "Have you guys ever seen Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog? If not, it has a great cast and is funny." That sounds familiar. Is Dr. Horrible the thing with, like...
That's Neil Patrick Harris, I think.
Yeah, I
right?
did.
It was
I did
pretty
see
good.
That. I did see
Yeah,
that.
it's solid. And
It's
if
fun.
you like that, if you haven't seen Series of Unfortunate Events on Netflix,
Yeah,
that's a really good show.
it's choice.
He did.
Yeah.
He did it well. Yeah.
It's like Addams Family meets kind of Tim Burton in a weird, I dig it a lot.
Old good Tim Burton.
Yes, absolutely.
Cause Tim Burton right now can suck my fucking dick. Like
That guy, I don't know what he's on. He's just on, his head's up his own ass, I guess, is how that works out. You're just like, yeah, I'm not into it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like
You count
you
Big
compare,
Fish as old Tim Burton?
That's right on the line. It's
yeah.
right on the line.
Yeah, that's
He has-
like mid-range.
He has
Yeah.
Matthew McGrory in it, who I love Matthew McGrory, if you guys are familiar with him.
Yep. He's
Yeah.
incredible.
I
Absolutely.
love that guy. Yeah, so like that kind of like pulls some emotional strings for me. But other than that, that's actually the guy that wrote Big Fish, the screenwriter, has a podcast with the guy who's like the writer of like the Hangover movies and shit.
Really?
And this was like my big geek out moment because they brought on what's her name, Nikki something. She co-wrote Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
They brought her on as a guest, and then they all got into talking about YouTube videos. And the guy who wrote Big Fish was like, "Oh, have you heard of these guys, the Auralnauts?" And he's like, "They make these fucking weirdly coherent voiceovers of like the Star Wars films, and it's like this strange but like consistent story that's like so he like made the screenwriter of Guardians of the Galaxy go watch our videos."
That's amazing,
I was like,
dude.
"Oh shit!" I had to resist like tweeting them all like, "Oh, that's me, you guys. You're so rad for shouting us out." Like, don't be that fucking guy. Just be cool.
Actually, that gave me
Let him
an
write to
idea.
you. Let him write to
And
you.
it's I'm not trying to say that like I'm trying to put Jeff through his courses, but Jeff, could we actually do we have a rollout video this week?
No.
No. Do you think we could run the Trump is Vader video out?
Yeah, I think we do that. We could do
Yeah.
that. You're gonna have to find me well, no, you can't find me the link because you're sitting far away from your computer.
I am, and
Just lean back. He's like chill. Yeah.
You know what, motherfucker?
Darth
what I mean.
Trump. Yeah.
All right.
This was
no,
made
I'll-
in a more innocent time.
oh, I know, but it's still fun. And
No,
it's
it
a
is,
great
but it's
way to
just
go
fun
out.
in a different way than it was. when we made it.
I can totally get permission from you to use it now, right
I
here.
mean, you might get blocked for the Star Wars footage though. That's the only.
maybe.
That's
That's
nothing we
worth
can
it. Totally worth
like
it.
we're ever actually
Totally
fucking
worth it.
monetized. Like whatever. Who gives a fuck?
No, but if we need to get demonetized, it's like
No,
I'd
but I
love
mean, if
to
you
get
just
hit
wanna-
for Star Wars
If you just want
content.
to play it, it's just like it'll just stop playing.
Oh, we'll play it out. It'll be fine.
Yeah, do it up.
Yeah.
Okay. All
So-
right. So hang on. Let me get through this real quick. Jenna Bell says stand name Constrictor Corundum. All right. Noble Yeti says I volunteered to do quality control for said brothels. Gonzo Duke says, well, Jim's coleslaw shack cater my wife's son's bar mitzvah.
There's a lot of things removed there, but I think we can hook that up.
I think it's entirely possible. Yeah. I
How
think we
gross
could
is that?
definitely-
Just a whole restaurant that's just one side.
Yeah. We got your coleslaw. All your coleslaw. You like coleslaw? We got all the coleslaw you gonna fucking need, man.
I was like the ambiguously ethnic Auralnaut.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very mixed race person. I could do all the black characters, like somewhat. Okay.
So you were doing Lando?
I'm Lando,
Who
but I
wants
was also the one black Imperial guy in the background. He's like, "Hey, hit me with the crispy Szechuan slaw with surprise." And I was like,
I'll be honest with you, man. That
Yeah,
did
like
still
that.
sound a little white.
"Oh no, totally," because that's just me. But I didn't want to like
But
over.
I didn't want to ask any of my subscribers, hey, who's black? I could see that being a little
We're
awkward.
just like, hey, I mean, look, because Lando's like, if you could just do a Billy D. Williams impression, it's just Billy D. Williams, you know.
Yeah,
It's like,
I could see you put that community post up in Patreon one time. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, here, who's black?
yeah.
What do you mean? No, I mean who sounds black.
Hey, you
Wait, what the fuck do you mean by that?
gotta phrase it like, where the blacks at?
What a black. Hey, where are the white women at?
Yeah, that's
Little
right.
Blazing Saddle stuff.
Aw.
No, I got
Classic
no, I just tried to
moments.
channel my dad basically. I was like, how would my dad shout that? Just try to sound like him, but I can't. It's like it's not the same obviously, but
Right.
That's the weirdest thing too. After you've studied acting and line delivery and all that, and you get to a point in which you've written something that it's not for yourself, it's for your audience, and you're like, all right, shit. How would my dad say this?
yeah.
Oh no, I don't want to go there, but I have to. And then it takes 3 months for the video to come out.
Yeah.
Too true. Well, all right. So
you wrestle with the PTSD and all that stuff. It's
So, a little bit of the format here. We're going to move on to the Undersubbed of the week. So, this week you picked the Destiny Fun Police.
I picked the Destiny Fun Police. Yeah.
Oh, why'd you pick Destiny?
Should I set this up a little bit? Or
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So Destiny 2 is kind of a piece of shit, but I really liked the first Destiny, and mainly because the PvP was just like you're basically superheroes fighting each other, and it was super fast paced and crazy plays, and it was fun. And there was a build that was just defensive, and nobody ever used it in PvP. And then these guys came along, the Destiny Fun Police, and they figured out a way to use this build to completely troll people in the PvP mode. Because there's like your super, everybody else has a super that's like team wiping fireballs and like magic guns. And this guy puts up a bubble. He just does this, and this bubble appears. And if you stand in it, you can't be killed for like 10 seconds.
Right.
And so he would just stand there, and people always think that they can enter your bubble and challenge you. So he would always just jump in the bubble and start dancing, and people couldn't fucking help themselves. He'd bait people, and his videos are just baiting. It's just like expert level baiting, and it's just
Sweet.
And he has some of the funnest troll highlight reels I've ever seen.
Fuck it. Let's check it out. All right.
Let's put it
here
on.
we go. Destiny Fun Police.
You armed it. Good.
One was dancing around the
let him
corner
come.
to see around the corner.
Let him come. You can just tether the top of the bubble. Shit.
Oh shit,
Oh.
he popped up on me.
How much you want to bet he
I'm
comes in
just
and
a
blows
bubble.
himself up? Alright, okay. Now Silicon, stay in the bubble. Get in the bubble.
Somebody.
This guy is coming in and... Rocket guy's coming, rocket guy.
Tries to step in and gets fucking decked in the face.
Oh my god.
These guys have a
that's
great
too
time.
funny.
Doing it too. It's
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah.
Oh shit. I must have got the bubble. God damn.
Oh, this is a newer one. I haven't seen this one. And then you do the emotes. They pose and they shake they wag their finger and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So mean.
God, I really wanted to love Destiny
this-
2.
Yeah, just crouch. Just everyone crouch right here.
Oh shit, I got backup?
Throw smoke, bro.
Yeah.
Alright, come.
We're gonna do. There's the bubble.
Just for ban, I'm just gonna stand in the bubble with my sentinel active.
Here they come. He's shaking his head. Like, no.
Pop out, jump
Bubble
back in.
cutter.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I missed from here.
Here's
I'm
the
a
other
potato.
one. Yeah. You got Captain America.
Yo.
That was funny.
Shake my head.
I bet I get bombed
I'm
here.
dead. Okay, I'm not dead. That was really, really bad.
Wow,
All
I
right
saw the end of that.
Yo.
One foe left.
What the fuck?
Punched all the entire team.
Let's chase him, see what he does.
Yeah.
Stop.
Going
Emote.
on my life. From...
Yeah. Punch.
He's just
Do it. Punch him.
Why is it he shooting? Oh no, he is. Hey.
You are
Oh my.
good or ill.
Did he try to do it?
Does more than a guardian.
What a dick.
Oh my god.
Holy
Oh my
shit.
god, look at him. Oh my god.
Oh no. Oh, they all just evaporated.
Bruh.
they're unkillable kind of thing.
Oh, this is gross.
Holy
man.
fuck.
And the punch sucks in Destiny
Yeah, they're
2.
killing
So for
me.
No,
him to be
it's
able
terrible.
to like use these, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, if they got full shield, I think it's like, is it 3 punches to get him down?
Oh, they've got
Yeah,
two
you gotta
hits.
just like basically
Yeah, I can't
break your
even
knuckles
challenge
on
it,
it.
like.
Yeah.
Oh shit, he was in
Yeah,
business.
fucking hilarious.
Oncoming storm.
Hey, where's the striker?
Get that bubble. Get that bubble.
Oh, he's got that shitty grenade launcher too, the fighting lion.
Yeah, yeah. And punch.
One opponent
Shit, he didn't reset my nade charge though.
People can't help themselves. They just cannot help themselves. Here they come. I'm gonna go in the bubble and I'm gonna win. Yeah, he's gonna try and super it. Nope. Didn't do it. Yep.
Salute.
What a dick. Alright, we don't have to watch the whole thing if you want. You get the
No,
idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
fucking choice, man. That's great.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah,
some montages where
it's-
in the first Destiny it was even more impressive because you could just he would stand in his bubble and somebody would come to super it and then he would just like step out of it
Right.
and survive and then just punch him in the face and that would be like
If they jump in the bubble, he'd step out. Their whole thing would get contained inside the bubble,
Mhm.
and then he'd walk in and
Yeah, and I don't know why everybody, and I've done it too. I'm not going to act like I haven't been trapped by a bubble. You walk in there, you're like, I'm going to be different. I'm going to go in the bubble. I'm going to be the one that kills this guy in his own house. It's like, no, it doesn't work out that way. So yeah, the Destiny Fun Police is they don't have a lot of
It's-
subs, but they're very entertaining. They're good editors. They're
I'll be honest, like, with all the kind of, like, I do, well, I used to watch a lot more YouTube, but yeah, shit's kind of weakened lately. But even still, I do find the gaming channels that I really liked. Those are the ones I enjoyed watching. Like, I'll be like, oh, I know they're entertaining. You ever watch Vertigo?
what does Vertigo play?
He's why I got into Rust. And
Okay.
Jeff and I have had a lot of weird fun in Rust.
Rust is an interesting game. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was one I saw today where he was just, it was casual free play where he was going to charm and betray everyone he met. and I'm like, I almost want to play Rust again to do that.
Yeah.
'Cause I've done that. I'm like, yes, I know. No, don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. Lift me up. No. Yeah. There we go. No, just yeah, let's make friends. And let me show me your base. And yeah.
and then once you're inside, it's like you invited a vampire into your home. You're like,
Yeah,
you're
gaming
powerless.
And gaming channels, when they get creative, are pretty fun.
Yeah.
So
and I'm not
that
gonna lie, I even like. So we're
that
talking
almost
about,
makes me watching that almost makes me want to play Overwatch, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because that's what the Overwatch pretty much is. It's like
Ew.
everyone is a superhero.
no.
Exactly. Well, and like speaking of like so bad it's good, I do have a guilty pleasure on YouTube, which is video game Donkey. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Oh, donkey!
Yeah, I want to like not like Donkey as much as I do, but his videos are just like super over the top ridiculous, and he's really sharp and witty, and it's
Every
can't help myself.
every April Fool's, and I fall for it every fucking year. I don't realize that it's April Fool's. I see Donkey, and it's like, Donkey returns to League of Legends. I'm like, yes, dude, fuck, finally, Donkey's coming back to League. And then I click on it, and it's like, Donkey Kong Country is the best game ever made. I'm like, motherfucker, fuck you.
When we play Overwatch, we always say it like whenever we see Genji, whereas like do it in Donkey voice. Oh shit, it's a pro Genji.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
There was another guy named God, what the fuck is his name? I think his name was like it's like Vox Bunny, and then he renamed to like Wolfie Ventori, but he was the dude who did the Daisy Morgan Freeman voice.
Oh shit.
I don't know if you ever heard about that. But this dude would troll people.
It's a pro Genji.
Yeah.
I just heard that.
Yeah.
Did that guy also do a Christopher Walken impression?
I don't think he did the Christopher Walken. Maybe he did. He might have. But he did. Like he'd go into DayZ and he'd run into somebody. This is before everybody abandoned DayZ. He'd be like, "Hello there. This is famous actor Morgan Freeman. I'm just a humble black man trying to make my way and find my way back to Milwaukee. Can you help me, please, sir?" And he'd role play with people that whole way. And
Oh,
so
man.
Vector Bunny, that's what it was, Vector Bunny. And
Vector
so
Bunny.
when I started playing DayZ,
there.
and I was still smoking, I could make my voice deep enough to do Morgan Freeman pretty good. I would actually, if I got cornered by an opponent, I would pretend to be Vector Bunny doing Morgan
shit.
Freeman just so they wouldn't kill me.
That's so many layers of cover that you just immersed yourself into. You're like,
Right.
this is the cover for the cover of the cover.
Right. And they'd be like, oh, dude, Vector Bunny, holy shit, I love you. I don't know who you're talking about with this Vector Bunny. I am Morgan Freeman. But if you do have a can of beans and maybe a machete so I can keep myself protected in this post-apocalyptic wasteland, I would appreciate it. They drop like something for me and I'd take it and fucking murder them to death.
Those poor fools were like, and then they went out like, dude, I totally ran into Vector Buddy. And like, their friends were like, no, you didn't. Show me the receipts.
And they didn't. They totally, it was me.
No, they didn't meet Vector Buddy.
That's right.
Well, we got any more anything to catch up with?
I lasted a lot longer than I thought I would. Actually, I was super tired.
I knew you would last. You said like, I don't know if I could do it, bro, but I saw you at that biker bar. I know you were more than capable.
Oh yeah,
I went and got falafel while you were still drinking.
I rally. It's not. You're not wrong.
I tend to as well. Noble Yeti says, I volunteered to do quality control for said brothels. Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate you. Gonzo Duke says, will Jim's Coleslaw Shack cater my wife's son's bar mitzvah? Oh, I already read that. Okay.
Did that one already.
I did. Okay.
That's old shit.
Anime Moon, remember who I have written for the past 2 years? I don't know if I remember that one either. Rhino says, I like how Nick has the same quality camera as the R2-D2 Princess Leia footage. That's true. You know, I could actually probably figure out a way to like animate
That's
so you could be projected, kind of like.
I am poor and doing the best I can.
You just put like a little R2-D2.
Listen, honestly, like R2-D2 looks more technologically advanced than what I wish I could take my camera off in this spiritual fucking astral plane just so I could show you with all of the glorious studio setup, even with the microphone and this little midget camera, this little C920 staring at me like, ha, you can try as hard as you like to make yourself look okay, but I will always be here denying you that which you really want.
What kind of webcam are you using, Zach?
I'm on just my laptop. I'm using the most basic ass,
Yeah, you're not under fucking 190 kilowatts of lights and shit trying to look all professional. You look like you're sitting in your kitchen.
I'm sitting in the kitchen. I got the Angry Joe setup where it's like clearly just the rest of my house behind me. It's just, it's like, hey man, where's your studio? I'm like,
I did that before and everyone was like, your house sucks. And I'm like, well yeah, but
listen, I live in Brooklyn, so this is my kitchen and my living room and my bedroom. It's all one straight, thing. Yeah, I got no yard.
Shotgun. It's a shotgun.
Do I got a shotgun back there?
No, I'm saying that's a shotgun. All right, what else been said with money, Jeff?
What you gonna do with that
shotgun?
Yeah. Sorry.
You guys get money from these people too, by the way. This is inspiring. I gotta get in on this format here. Like this.
It works.
You should come back to the YouTube Saints more often. We can help produce your wonderful acts.
Yeah, you guys got a nice little setup here. I'm sorry, I interrupted your page.
No, that's totally fine, man.
These guys some time.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you with getting money there. I'm sorry now.
All right, so we're on the home stretch here. So we're gonna go to the cringe of the week real quick. The cringe of the week. And this cringe of the week comes to us from talking political fucking pundits. And what this is Sean Hannity, who mocked Michelle Obama, says it's wrong to mock Melania Trump. Now this requires just a little quick explanation of what happened. So this began simply enough on Monday night when Jimmy Kimmel did what he usually does. He made a fucking joke. But
that's his job.
Right, yeah, it's his fucking job. But that one joke has now given way to an ugly episode involving Sean Hannity.
Shan Hannity.
Demeaning countless women who suffered brutality at the hands of Harvey Weinstein. This is CNN's reporting, so it's going to sound a little like one-sided. But basically what ended up happening was starting on Monday began a sissy slap fight between Jimmy Kimmel and Shan Hamity, or whatever the fuck his name is, over Twitter. And if you haven't noticed this, if you're not a Twitter user, it is worth going to Twitter just to see how fucking insane this got. This got absolutely insane. You've got Sean Hannity yelling and yammering and comparing Jimmy Kimmel and his previous appearances on The Man Show to Harvey Weinstein, which is a stretch.
Right.
And then
It's The Man Show was about that. Like that was
People are stretching their jokes on Twitter. I don't believe it.
So we got Kimmel played a video clip of Melania Trump reading a book to children. Kimmel then repeated in a subtle accent the words the First Lady had read. He looked to his on-air sidekick and jokingly said, "You know what this means? You could be First Lady of the United States." Not really sure how that whole thing is supposed to mean. Hannity replied that Kimmel is a despicable disgrace and an ass clown. This escalated even further, where they started calling each other
term.
Ass clown.
Ass clown. Them's fighting words. Engage me in fisticuffs, sir. It gets to the point where, and I'm trying to find the actual tweet in which
He's
it is.
really bad at that, isn't he? Jesus
Who?
Christ, ass clown.
I know, ass clown. Is
Holy
terrible.
shit! I mean, I get called all kinds of things by all kinds of people, as do you, Jeff.
Oh yeah.
And but I mean, when I bother retorting, which is more often than you do, I come at them with like simpering cunt or feckless shitheel or
oh sure.
or boring dumb fuck. It's like ass clown. That kind of sounds
Right.
entertaining.
I'm trying to remember which one it was. There was one specific where Jimmy Kimmel implied that Sean Hannity was like bending over and taking it up the tailpipe for Trump, I think it was. And that got people super fucking ass mad because they thought that Jimmy Kimmel was making fun of gay people.
He was asking Hannity if he was Trump's bottom or not.
That's right. That's what it
Yeah.
was. And so even people who were like, who hate Sean Hannity, hate Trump, all of a sudden were like, well, hey there, Jimmy Kimmel. We've forgiven you for like the trampolines and women in tight clothes or a cucumber in your pants and them fondling what they thought was your dick. We've forgiven you for that.
Right.
Don't make a fucking gay joke. That's not funny. So this whole thing became a circus, a fucking circus, and it was brilliant.
Who was saying that it was insensitive to gays? Was that liberals or conservatives? Was it?
It's hard to tell these days. But
Probably
it was,
both.
Because in my experience, liberals have the tendency to be overprotective of other people's feelings too much, and conservatives, they'll do the moral relativity, like the flip of whatever they need it to be about. So it's hard for me to tell these days.
Although, unless
actually, I can tell you, I remember the first time I saw it was, and when you say liberals, Zach, I'm just gonna say like progressives. There is a differentiation these days because liberals increasingly are becoming the people who do not give a fuck. And but with that, it was actually Tim Pool, I believe, who was trying to take someone to task, Jimmy Kimmel to task over making an insensitive joke after he has made such issues over other people's insensitive jokes.
Right.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That's true.
My whole thing with that joke is that it wasn't a gay joke. It was just about Trump and Sean being lovers.
Yeah, it was about. Yeah, I mean, it was about Trump like ass fucking Sean.
Yeah, it was like
his little subby bitch.
Yeah, and his
was
joke
more of a
was like the only world in which any of this makes sense is if you're having sex with this guy. He
Yeah,
wasn't
actually,
he wasn't like you're fucking gay and that's bad. It was like you're just boning that guy and that's why you're saying.
I mean, it probably would have been more politically correct and to the point if he'd said, "Is that your subby?" But it's like, oh, okay, then I require the audience to understand the whole BDSM thing. It'd be easier to say bottom, and I'll know that at least half of Twitter will get that.
So the actual tweet is, don't worry, just keep tweeting. You'll get back on top, or does Trump prefer you on bottom? Either way, keep your chin up, big fella.
That's a great joke. There's no fat on that joke at all.
Yeah,
No.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Actually, that I mean, as far as Twitter jokes go, does that actually fit the original 140 mark?
It might actually.
If it does, I will be even more impressed.
He might have had to lose the big guy at the end, but I feel like it's pretty crisp.
Yeah,
It's,
I kind of.
It's not inflated at all. That's, that's
right,
like on
actually,
point.
At this moment, I'm actually kind of regretting the fact that Twitter expanded its character amount because actually, comedy Twitter was better with 140.
As bad as like I feel about Twitter in general, I did appreciate when it was shorter because it forced me to like hone things in a more efficient way. I have a tendency to overwrite, and you just couldn't. Now I can just blabber shit out there and like not make sense like I used to do.
All right. So Giovanna Liviana says, "Take off every zig. You know what you're doing. Move zig for great justice." Oh boy. All right, I get that reference. Gonza Duke says, "Help me, Obi-Wan Wizard. You're my only drunk." Too true. Lord
I'll
Squirrel.
be there eventually.
Lord Squirrel says, "We'll tear your soul apart." Oh yes, we'll tear your
Good
soul.
Hellraiser reference. I like it.
And last but not least, Wrath of Controversy says, "My favorite insult is the carbon footprint of the basic materials you're composed of is excessive for your individual contribution to society." Appreciate that, man. So,
I
ladies,
like the name Wrath of Controversy.
oh, he's a great dude.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's got a good channel too. Go
He
check him
too
out.
is also a bald beardo,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
which
If we ever meet, I guess you now know that we will have to just a light standoff, nothing permanent. You know, it's
I mean, you know, my beard's coming back after I had to shave it for the fucking Dr. Phil show, and my hairline's receding. So, like, at some point, man, I'm gonna be joining the club. Like,
Well, I did see some studies that said that there is a link between the hormone that primarily causes
I'm sorry.
receding
Hold on.
hairlines
Guys.
and the hormone that causes bigger beards.
really? Ooh.
Yeah, so like it just moves down. Like it's pretty.
It's cool as long as it moves
Sorry,
down
it
to
was,
here, and I don't
just
all of a
had to
sudden
let it all down.
turn into this like Ron Jeremy fucking beastly thing. Like, I'm not cool with that. You know, I don't want to do that.
Mine has definitely gotten thicker over the years since this started. I started losing this in like high school, by the way. So I've like people make if somebody tries to use it as an insult, I'm like I've been over it for like 30 years. I don't know what like.
Right.
This is a calcified wound. It's not opening up ever again. I'm good.
It'd be kind of nice if this filled out a little bit. It's still a little patchy, I
It
gotta let
will.
grow.
You once you start getting this in there, then you'll be like on the right track.
You know what? That's why I like you, Zach. You just, you know, you're encouraging. You're like, you'll get there, little feller. Don't worry.
You get there. Come on.
You'll get there, buddy. You'll get there. I appreciate that.
Keep your chin up.
I don't
You'll be
feel,
back on top in no time.
I don't feel emasculated at all. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we've been your YouTube Says. Thank you so much to our guest, Zach from the Auralnauts, a legendary fucking Auralnauts. Go check them out. Go fucking check out the Auralnauts. Go and check out.
Subscribe immediately.
Immediately.
And watch the entire Star Wars series, and do not watch The Last Laser Master unless you've seen the entire series. Otherwise, there are so many spoilers you won't understand. Yeah, no, there is a canon there. You cannot interrupt it.
Right.
Or you can and fuck it up and have fun.
And go check out the Destiny Fun Police, our Undersubbed of the week. If you want to catch some hilarious fucking Destiny pwned videos. And otherwise, we'll see you guys over on Twitch on Thursday for the midweek show. And then again, every week, without fail, back here on Sunday nights, 7:30 Pacific Standard Time, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. We have been your YouTube Saints. Good night, everybody. Good night, good night, good night. And go fuck yourself.
All right.
Hang on, Nick is making me do something new, and I actually didn't bring up my audio mixer to do this. So everybody's listening to me fail right now, rather than listening like the exit music.
You did cut it off.
It's a new thing. Everyone knows you gotta
right,
kind of
right.
ease it in
All right.
at first.
All right.
Take
Enjoy,
it
everybody.
slowly
Good night.
and relax.
Shut the fuck up.